I'm Melody and I'm here with
Maggie.
I'm also here with
Mr. Pete.
We've heard that you had a ghost encounter at our school.
On my first 2 weeks of working at this high school, I was asked to go open up the auditorium, turn on the lights, turn on the AC units, and being that it was my first couple of weeks, I did forget where the light switches were at. So when I walked in the auditorium, it was super dark. So what I did, I got my phone and I started like walking up the aisles. As I was walking up the aisles, all I seen was a human hand just sitting at the edge of one of the seats. All I did was just like, oh, and I just started walking up. Finally, I got to the top and was able to turn on the lights, and there was nobody there. So, it creeped me out, but it's just part of life. There's people that love Montebello so much that they don't want to leave.
Okay, so this was before COVID, like I would say about 10 years ago. I was sitting over here. And it was lunchtime, and I had a student that was finishing up his work over here at a table. And then there was another student that was sitting behind the student, but like right alongside him. So I was here grading papers, and I hear that door slam shut.
Wait, this one?
Yes.
Let's go right here.
That door right there, slam shut. Yes, I heard that, and I looked, and they were both seated there, and they looked at me, and they said, how did that happen? Like, I have no idea. And we just walked out the door and took a little walk because nobody wanted us here at the time, I guess. But yeah, so that was pretty crazy. One other story that happened, it was in summer school in D5. And I had a full class, and we were doing a Socratic seminar, so we had two little circles going on. And in the back corner of the room, there was a media cart that had a TV and it had a VCR at the time. No DVD at that time. It was a long time ago. And it was just in the corner. It wasn't my room, so I didn't have a remote or anything. I never used the thing. But we were in the middle of a debate, and all of a sudden, it turned on, made the loud staticky noise you hear in like a scary movie. And you just see the volume thing going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And there was not a kid nearby, no one there. There was no remote. And Kathy, the security guard, her daughter was in the class, and she's like, oh my God, she screamed. Ran out the door, and it just caused panic in front of everyone else, so everybody else started screaming and stuff. So I asked to change classrooms after that, because that was nuts. And those are my stories.
Well, it wasn't my encounter. It was actually a custodian that was working here maybe about 14 years ago. He experienced having, over in the C building area, he seen 4 students that were dressed in prom attire, but the attire was more like in the 70s style, like the pastel colors and stuff like that. So he was like kind of like tripped out by that, and he's like, hey guys, school's closed. And these kids wouldn't respond to him. They were just talking amongst themselves, laughing, having a good time. They entered the C building, went upstairs, but they never came back down. And none of the custodians could find those kids on that day.
Hey everyone, my name is Mr. H, Mr. Hernandez. I am your employment program specialist here at Montebello High School, located in the Career Center C1. I want to start by telling you a story that happened to me not too long ago. It was a home track meet that I was at, and it was late, around close to 5:30, almost 5:45. And I followed a staff member to get their attention regarding a scoring issue that we had for one of the events. And I followed the staff member to A building. Waving him down, thinking I was following this particular staff member, and only to hear them go into the office, lock the door, and followed them in to the main building. Tried to open the door, knocked, I was locked out, and I'm like, hey, open the door. And I knocked again, no answer. I called this particular staff member thinking that the staff member was inside their office, and only for the staff member to tell me, wait a minute, I'm still over here on the field. That's not me. And I knocked again while I'm on the phone, and they knocked back at me. That was my cue to get out. So I left, and as I'm leaving that night, because I'm parked by the campus inn, everyone knows that, I smell cigarette smoke. And the bathroom in D building is locked. And our custodian, Damaso, says there's nobody in there, but it says occupied on the little lock. And I hear someone go, inside the restroom. Knock again, I'm like, hey, you good? You good? And I'm like, Damaso, come unlock it. Something's going on. He's like, there's nobody in there. Unlocks it. Nobody there.
Actually, in this office, there's been 3 times where I can smell cigarette smoke. And usually what that means, from what I've heard from other people, is that the ghost is present. So there was one occasion where during COVID, when no one else was supposed to be here, and some of us did have to come to work, I came in here because I had to get my laptop, I had to update or something, and I was waiting for the IT guy to show up, and I walked in here and it reeked of cigarette smoke. So yeah, I called our custodian, Pete, and I told him, Pete, I can't, it smells like cigarette smoke in here, and I had to get out of here. And he goes, okay. No, first he said, I'm coming over, just wait for me there. And I said, I'm not waiting for you here. So I left and I waited in my car out there. So I know that when we can smell cigarette smoke, that means that the ghost is around.
So I teach folklorico here at Montebello High School, and we are in the auditorium on Saturday mornings when the school is empty. And whenever we have practices, the lights go off and on very, very randomly. Sometimes it's like at very particular times where, like, if we're doing a particular step where it's very quiet. So it's always like, they want to make sure they know that we're feeling them, you know? But yes, it's in the auditorium always.
When that happens, what do you feel?
I feel like it's more of a, like, they just want to be known that they're there. So my students, I always kid with them, and I always tell them, persínense.
Well, one time we were telling the kids during lunch, the bell rang, and we were telling them, okay, guys, it's time to go back to class. And I was, saying my goodbyes to them, and all of a sudden I felt somebody tap me on my shoulder, and I turned around and there's nobody there. Miss Lopez, who was the LMA before Miss Williams, she's like, what's wrong? I said, somebody tapped me. She goes, there was no one behind you. I said, what? So it just scared me.
All right. This is the entrance to the attic. You guys have you have flashlight? Yeah. Alright. So you're the flashlight guy, you're gonna have to go first. You scared of ghosts?
Oh, you want me to go here? Here.
There you go, turn your camera.
That's so scary.
A lot of this stuff is gonna get tossed away eventually. It has to be shredded because it's old records. So a lot of this, like I said, this stuff is all computerized now.
Whoa.
These are old. So this is like the old ventilation system. And these are a lot of old trophies that the school has won in different competitions. But we don't have nowhere to put them because there's just so many that our school's so good at winning stuff. So there you go. We got a lot of trophies. We have another spot in here, shine your light. And this is like the old ventilation system. So basically what it would do is it'll suck air and blow it down through where the seats are at in the auditorium area. So you see like there's round circles on the floor. And that is so that they can get the air flowing.
Oh, so that's what that's
So that's what this is. So basically it's like a giant fan.
Yeah, I was about to eat it.
Any like paranormal activity up here, I've never felt anything like that up here. So I've never sensed anything or felt anything in here. It's just pretty dirty because of the vents and stuff. The opening right here. So this right here above us is you'll have the clock tower. So the clock is up there. But you can see how old it is, right?
Yeah.
So this building was built like in 1949, 48, something like that. So they filmed Criminal Minds down here. Really? An episode. So wash your hands, okay guys?
Have you encountered anything else while working here?
No, just that. Actually, I think it's the wind, or my door is up in the front, but my door just suddenly closes, and it's a pretty heavy door, so that also. But they always say los espíritus vienen through magnetism, so electromagnetic waves, so light, electricity. That's a way of communication.
Okay. Thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome.
time.